to the broadcast with Amanda, Shandy, and Colleen. My name is Colleen.
My name is Amanda.
And I'm Shandy.
Welcome to the show, everybody. This is Season 6, Episode 7, Episode 232. How is it going?
Oh, great.
It's been a long time. It's been 4 weeks since we recorded.
I know. It's like, who are you guys again?
Yeah, is that our longest break?
Yes. Yes, it is. I don't even think we went that long.
Reintroductions here.
Yeah. I don't even think we went a full month when Eden was born.
Yeah, I think we did 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that wasn't because, it was Amanda's choice to come back after 3 weeks.
It's true. It was. Because I missed you.
Aww. I missed you guys too. I said to Jay the other day, I just was like out of nowhere. I was like, I really miss Amanda and Shandy.
Yeah, sorry, it was entirely my fault. And there was a chance that we were going to record 2 weeks ago, but I was like, actually, I don't think I can. I was home for one like full night, and I couldn't have. That was a crazy day. So
that's okay. I mean,
you've been living life. You've been doing things.
It's been a fucking crazy few weeks. And
it really has.
I dropped an F-bomb a minute and a half into the episode, but it's been really 4 weeks. Since we last recorded, I watched a lot of TV.
Well, that's good.
I started a new job. My cat died.
It's even better.
It's been a really crazy 4 weeks.
I know. How long has it been now?
So Zoe passed away on July 21st. So it's been just about a month. Yeah, that sucked. But yeah, it's I saw Maggie in the last 4 weeks since we recorded. So that was exciting.
That's good.
I said we watched a lot of TV. I saw Black Widow and I loved it. I loved it so much. I want to watch it again. I really, really liked it.
Did you see it in theater or did you see it streaming?
We did. We saw it in theater. Right before they were. Oh, yeah, that's right. A month ago, we didn't have to wear masks, but now we do again. What a 4 weeks it's been.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, tell me what you guys been up to. My stuff, I've been trying to blog. I've been trying to blog more things so that way I didn't have to have verbal diarrhea when we recorded and take a gazillion years. So I have a blog post coming about all of it should be out by now. I wrote half of it this morning about all of the TV shows that we watched while we were on hiatus. And I started one about what happened with Zoe because I blogged obituary for her when she died because I didn't
it was beautiful, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I didn't want. We were all very emotional, and it's still really sad, actually. The other day, I want to say it was maybe Saturday. Alex woke up and was like, the first thing he said to me when I went into his room, because he plays in his room independently, he comes into the bed, will give me a kiss and a hug good morning, and then goes back to his room and plays. And the first thing I said when he opened his door, he was like, I miss Zoe. And I was like, me too, buddy. And then the next day on Sunday, I went to Pure Bar in the morning, and when I was gone, Jay was getting them dressed, and apparently he asked Jay, when is Zoe coming home? And and then he had asked me, it was me and Zach and Alex in the car on Sunday afternoon, because Alex has to wear a mask now in his school. For the first time ever, they lowered the age from 5 to 3, even though the governor's mandate is 5 and up. The daycare has now said 3 and up because they had a COVID outbreak in the 4-year-old classroom, where Alex is scheduled, even though he's 3.5, he's moving up to the 4-year-old classroom at the end of the month. Go him. And I learned that he can write his name, which I didn't know until we had birthday cards. We did a birthday card for my dad last weekend, and Alex couldn't write his name. And then we did a birthday card also on Sunday for Jack's birthday, because we saw him for his birthday. And Alex could write his name. So in between last Sunday and this Sunday, I learned how to do that. So,
that's so great. Way to go, Alex.
I know, I was very proud. Anyway, so whatever, his classroom that he's going into at the end of this month had a COVID outbreak, so they decided to lower the mask mandates to any preschool 1, 2, 3, pre-K, blah, blah, blah. So I was in the car with them to take them to get masks, which are sold out everywhere except for Wegmans, where they're $5 for one mask, right? Huh. I know. God, and damn it, it fits him perfectly, which is the worst. But I wouldn't have gotten it, but there's no mask like anywhere else. And the Old Navy ones that we have for Zach, and that's what Alex has been wearing this whole time, but he like chews on them because they're just too big on him. They chews on them, he puts them in his mouth. Yeah. And really, they're only good for when we're out to go to like a store. So we needed something that he could wear for 8 hours straight. And damn it, those $5 Wegmans ones fit. And I'm so mad about that. I'm like, you couldn't fit into the one where it's $5 for a 5-pack. But he had asked me again on Sunday afternoon when Zoe's coming home. And I said again, I was like, she's not. And Zach was like, she passed, Alex. Anyway, so I started writing one about Zoe and what actually happened. And then a good friend of the Jane Jack Network, Jen Ozawa, passed, and I felt dumb posting something about how much I miss my cat when my friend died, and I really miss my friend too. So it's been a crazy few weeks. Rest in peace, Jen. Rest in power. Wonderful woman who fought cancer for 10 years. And
unbelievable.
Yeah.
I didn't know her, but
badass lady.
Well, and I saw, just because of the way that social media is, I saw her husband's post. I don't know, maybe you had liked it or something. And so it came up in my feed or something like that. And I read through all the comments, of which there were many. And you could just tell by the comments that she was somebody who touched a lot of lives and was very, very, very cool.
Yeah. She was an awesome woman. And I had just talked to her too, like the beginning of July. I had sent her a card in June, and she had messaged me in July, or she had messaged me when she got it, and I was in with Alex at nighttime, so I made a note to go back, but I generally mark things as unread so I can remember to go back to them, and I didn't do it with hers. Yeah, and then she followed up like 2 weeks later, and I was like, oh shit, I forgot to answer Jen. So, but that was the last time I talked to her, and it was very sad. So, yeah, I think all the podcasts on the network are dedicating their first shows after Jen's passing to Jen. So I will also follow suit. Nick had a very nice song where he sang a tribute song to her on the most recent Ramblecast After Dark. I think it's called Matt's Mad Libs or something like that, which was very sweet. So I don't know where I was going with all this. Somebody else can talk now. Zoe, read my blog post. I'll tell you everything. Callrights.com. But fuck cancer. That's where I was going with all of this. Fuck cancer. That's the theme of everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I wish I had known her.
She was really cool.
She really seemed it.
I know I told you guys this, but like she had that same energy that like Alice has, where like you're firm but sweet. So you can
great way to describe her.
Yeah. And you're very strong in your convictions and the way that you go about saying things with that like just firm, nice energy makes it hard for people to like come after you and tell you you're wrong. Like you just kind of command people to listen to you. Yeah. Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah. I aspire to be like one of those people. I always have such respect. I won't either, which is why I aspire and will never achieve. But those people that can be that way and make it look so effortless because it's just who they are is really amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. My favorite memory of Jen is, so they went to Comic-Con a couple of times. They were from Hawaii and they went out there. And one year, I was trying to get her, she didn't really drink much. And I was like, I think it was one of the years that their kids weren't there. Because they had 3 kids. They have a Zach and an Alex and a Kate. And yeah, I was just like, stupid, dumb, young me trying to, Amanda knows where I've like, let's do a shot. Oh, you don't want to do a shot? We're going to do a shot anyway.
Doing anyway.
Yeah.
Just do it. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
It'll be
fun. I got her to do a tequila shot with me. And she was very uncomfortable, but she did it anyway. Maybe she wasn't uncomfortable. Maybe that was just me being like, oh my God, you're making this nice lady do a tequila shot.
It's a bonding exercise.
Exactly. So anyway, to Jen.
To Jen.
You're here.
So, what else? I have one other funny story, but I might save it to the end. And it is one of those, like, Colleen stories. Like, not at the level of almost getting kidnapped, but it's it's one of those, but I'm going to make everybody wait a little bit for it. Because it's really
okay.
I don't think I can tell it without laughing. I haven't told it in person yet without laughing. So, yeah. How is life? Shandy, how is Hawaii? Amanda, I don't even know what Amanda's been up to other than posting adorable pictures on Instagram.
Yeah, that's kind of the long and the short of it.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pandemic and I have a baby. We don't do that much.
How is Eden doing?
She's good. We went to the doctor yesterday for her 4-month appointment.
Yeah.
4 months.
She is 13 pounds, 10 ounces. So she's growing like a weed.
Nice.
She's like Gabby sized.
Yeah. She's still not as big as Captain yet. We figure we probably got about 2 to 3 more months before she weighs him. So yeah, she got two vaccines yesterday, and
yay for vaccines!
Yay for vaccines! I was hoping she would sleep the rest of the afternoon like she did with the first round of vaccines. She did not. She was a grouchy little bee.
Oh,
but come see, come saw. She was fine. She then we finally got her to bed that night. She slept like a log until like 7:30 this morning. So really, I suppose can't complain too much.
Did you get to sleep till 7:30 in the morning?
No, I got up to pee at 3:00, and then I got up at like 5:36 to pump, not realizing that I don't think I screwed the container. Because next thing I knew, the bed was just soaked with breast milk. Because I've been doing I've been pumping in bed, which I probably shouldn't do because our chair in our bedroom, we had to move our air conditioner from one window to the other because our windows are directly over the front door. And so air conditioner leaking on everyone in the building. We had to move it. And now
I've seen a Broad City episode about that.
Yeah. Real life.
Wait, she had a baby in real life too, Ilana.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she really missed smoking pot.
Or is she still pregnant? I feel like I've seen.
No, she had the baby because it was on Instagram.
See, I don't follow her on Instagram. But yeah, so window, too cold by the chair, so I do it in bed. Leaky breast milk bed. Had to wake up Daniel and change the bed this morning.
That's the worst because it's all sticky. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, no, this is an emergency. It's a code white. We gotta get up. We gotta take everything off the bed. I had to get a blow dryer because I made it all the way to the mattress. So I'm like blow drying the mattress. So it's like to get all the.
You are so good because if it was me and it was 5:30, I would have put a towel down and been like, "Fuck this, I'll deal with it in the morning."
I don't want that curdled grossness in my mattress.
Very true. Again, you're way better than me.
Yeah, but. I mean, the story gets better, but it's like all that moving around. I realized I actually could move around because this weekend I got stung in the foot by a wasp and had like a club foot for the past 2 days.
Oh man.
Yeah, the swelling kept moving up my leg, up to my ankle, my entire foot.
Oh my God.
Couldn't really walk on it. So the fact that I was able to do all that moving around, I was like, I guess the swelling is going down.
Oh my God.
Damn.
Yeah. I mean, it's still it's still pretty swollen, but it's less swollen. And the toe that was stung is very red.
So it started in your toe and it went to your ankle?
It went all the way up to my ankle. Yeah.
Do you have an allergy to that?
Apparently.
Sorry.
But like I didn't want, so I was icing it because we were away this weekend. A couple of my college friends, we do this yearly weekend where we all like rent a big house somewhere and we all just like go and hang out. And we didn't do it last year because of COVID, and it was, it happened like literally the one time we left the house like on Saturday to like go get lunch. I get stung during lunch.
Oh,
so then I just go back to the house and I spent the rest of the time like just icing and which I mean, it's really the whole point of it. Like we very rarely these days like go out and really do much exploring anyway. It's just like we all kind of hang around and like spend time together and like drink.
Enjoy each other's company.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it was fine. But yeah, thankfully the swelling didn't really start until the car ride home. And then like by Sunday night, like my foot was like,
that's crazy.
Several sizes bigger. And then Monday morning, it was several sizes bigger than that.
I'm wondering if this needs medical attention.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering the same, babe.
Right. Well, I did like my doctor, they have like an app. So I did like not even like a telemed. I sort of did like their texting thing about like, hey, I got stung, and I like sent some pictures, and they just, they didn't seem concerned. They like sent me some bullshit about like, here's what you can do. Like,
right.
Stings are at their worst between like 36 and 78 hours after the fact. So
did you have a fever or anything like to indicate?
No, I didn't have a fever. It was all like just to the foot. It wasn't, I wasn't having any like breathing problems.
Gotcha.
It just, it was just, I think it was just so bad because it was on my foot.
Yeah.
So it's, it's hard to keep it elevated.
Yeah.
When,
it's like the part of your body that you need to put all of your weight on.
Right. And it's like, I have a baby that, needs to be upright and moving to be soothed. And she just had, vaccinations. So I had to be upright and like up on it a lot. So I think that like increased the swelling.
Wow. Well, I'm sorry, but I'm glad that you can move again.
Yeah, it's better now. I haven't even iced it today. So that's a big improvement.
It's good.
Yeah. Anything else going on that you did that was exciting over the last month?
That might have been
it. Cool. That's still exciting. I mean, crappy, but exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of crappy, real quick story. Sorry. Alex was saying a marker the other day. This marker is crappy. And I was like, Alex, you can't call things crappy. And he was like, why not? And Jay was like, because saying crappy is, it's kind of a grown-up way to describe things. You can't call things crappy. It's not nice. And he goes, okay, fine. This marker is kind of crappy.
Touche, young man.
Perfect.
And we were like, damn it, the word itself, not the description. That kid, man.
Oh, man.
Shandy, you had an exciting month.
I had an exciting month. Yeah, all the things. It started out with my trip to Missoula. And that was really fun. We stayed with my cousin. Frank and I went up, and it was really good to see her. It's been, since pre-COVID. And then we had like a friend reunion. We had a bunch of friends in town. So that was really fun. The one kind of damper on that was that it was super smoky when we got there. There were a couple of days, like we got to float the river and it wasn't that smoky that day. So that was kind of cool. Like there was a couple days where it was like, okay, visibility. And then others where it was really, really not. So it was just a reminder of, global warming. A couple weeks later, we got the code red for humanity. So it all checks out. But it was good to be home.
How about that climate change report?
Yeah. That did a number on me for a good while. But no, Missoula was good. Like it's so good to be home. And it's like just feels so good sometimes to be with like people who have known you for more than a decade or maybe two. It's just like there's a feeling, and that's not like a slam on anyone else, but it's just like it was really nice. So,
nice.
Yeah, no, I get that completely.
To just like have that shared history and some of my friends that we're going on a couple decades now, like that we've been doing this, and that it was just really nice.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was really fun. And then we came back for like a night, and then we were supposed to go to Lassen to meet my brother and his family and go camping with them for a week. But, you know, the state of California is on fire also. And the Dixie Fire had just started like shortly before then. So we had been monitoring the smoke situation in Lassen, and like a couple days before, it just became clear that like, we're not going to Lassen. So we found a place that was more like west from there, and we're able to get camping spots there. So like that was cool. I was happy that we had a solution. It wasn't as beautiful as Lassen. So it was kind of like, okay, we got to spend the time with the people, and that's the most important thing.
Right.
And it wasn't smoky there. But it wasn't, it wasn't like the same sort of place where you can go on all these amazing hikes and see cool things and swim in beautiful, pristine mountain lakes. And, so that'll be another time, but it was good to see my brother and my sister-in-law and my nephew. And then we came back for like 2 days, and then we went to Hawaii. And which was crazy, which was for work, to be clear. But of course, like I still had my evenings and stuff. So it was really cool. Like that was my first experience in Hawaii. We've been talking about going for a long time, and it just never happened for like various reasons. So this was kind of like, this was just great. Like it's really cool. The training that I went to was really, really good. And yeah, it was just really nice to be like in such a cool place. The weather was amazing. The water was amazing. I live a 10-minute walk from the ocean, but like we don't ever enter the ocean. Like that's a foreign concept to me. It's very cold here. So like to be able to just like walk on down and spend time in, very warm ocean. It was really cool. And we got to do some fun stuff too. Cause like I didn't have the training on Sunday. I had Sunday completely off. So we rented like mopeds and scooted around the island, which is my very first experience on a moped. And I'm actually like pretty proud of myself, because that's not usually something that I would be down to do. It's, if you think about it hard enough, it's kind of terrifying.
Oh yeah.
Not even that hard.
You don't have to think that hard. Like that's scary.
Plus, we don't know the island, and so like we're like looking at our Google Maps and stuff to make sure we don't like get on the highways and stuff. And there are a couple of times where we're on this road, but it kind of feels like a highway, but it's not. The speed limit's like 35. So you're like, okay, if the speed limit's 35, we're allowed to be here. Like that's like it was fun though. It was really fun to do that. And then we also went snorkeling. It was another first for me. And we got to see sea turtles, which was pretty amazing. I made the mistake like back in the early 2000s of watching the movie Open Water, and that has always like really stuck with me. And so even though this was just snorkeling, don't watch it. Amanda, if you haven't seen it, don't watch it.
Okay.
Just don't.
Okay.
It's not worth the mental anguish. But yeah, this was obviously very safe. We weren't even diving, and it was like not even that far from the shore, and it was fine. But like there were moments where I was like, is the boat still here? Okay, boat's still here. We're good. But no, that was really fun. And then so the plan was that my training finished on Wednesday, and we would have all day Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and come back on Sunday. And so on Thursday is the day that we went snorkeling. Then at the end of the day, we had been in communication with my cat sitter, and it was looking like, so like Fiona hadn't been taking her thyroid medication, and we thought she was just like, didn't like to take the pill. So there's also this like topical form that you can rub on her ear. So we had ordered that, and that had come in. And so the cat sitter was giving her that. But then it was causing, at least this is what it seemed like, it was causing these side effects, which maybe it was causing the side effects. Maybe that was coming from something else. We're not really sure, but we got a little concerned about it. So we decided to have her looked at the vet. And so on Friday morning, we sent her luckily my neighbor, first of all, my cat sitter is amazing. Second of all, our neighbors, who unfortunately are moving in a couple of weeks, are so fucking cool. And they I called them, and because I knew that one of them works from home, and she was more than willing to take Fiona to the vet. I thought it was going to be like a quick, like just drop her off and they'll see her for like 15 minutes, assess and fix whatever's going on and then send her home. But so this is happening. And then meanwhile, we had rented a car that day to like do a couple of things that we needed a car for. So we're in the car, we're literally like pulling into the parking lot at Pearl Harbor. And I'm now talking to the vet who's like, yeah, she needs to stay here all day. She's lost 3 pounds. She lost a third of her weight. Like she wasn't eating. She was just like super sick. She was like super yellow, very jaundiced. And so then we're like, okay, like what do we do? So at that point it became clear that like maybe we needed to be in Monterey. So we saw the parking lot of Pearl Harbor and then we left.
Oh no. That's
so
like that was experience. It was closed the day that we went. So but we didn't know because we were by the door.
Well, one out of 3 broads has actually made it all the way to Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, we certainly we tried. We really gave it our best try, but like then we're like, okay, we probably need to go home. So like we went back to the hospital to the hotel, and so like the prognosis was really like not looking good, and it was just so hard because we weren't there. Yeah. And I think she had probably had like a steady decline during the week, but like our pet sitter, like there were days where, she was just like hiding under the bed when our pet sitter would come to feed her. So our pet sitter didn't necessarily notice or she doesn't know her well enough to, it's like,
yeah,
it's definitely not on her to be like, oh, something's going on here. And so I'm just so thankful that she like had sent us the pictures with like the other thing. And so we sent her to the vet for that. And then it just turned out that like there was something, really bad going on underneath all that. So we went back to the hotel. I was able to change my flight. Like luckily, since I was traveling for work, it was just like easy and free and boom. Yeah. Frank paid like maybe I think $260 to get. We didn't end up on the same flight going back or the same airlines or anything, but he got the last seat because he had traveled with United. So he got the last seat on a United flight. Since I was flying for work, they could put me on like whatever airline. But we left at like roughly the same time and we're getting back to Monterey at roughly the same time. So it kind of like worked out for that. Mm. And I think he paid like $260, but they're giving him $130 of it back as a travel voucher.
Okay. Hey, that's good.
Oh, sweet.
Can't complain by that.
Speaking of which, I think Fiona's at the door right now. But
talking about me?
Yeah.
Make sure you get the story right.
But so we like rushed back and I felt like, so we left on Friday night instead of Sunday morning. And I kind of felt like this sort of like Home Alone thing of like, where she's just like at the airport and like,
I'll give you my jewelry. I'll give you my this. I'll give you my that. Yeah.
And at the end of the day, she doesn't even get back like that much earlier than anyone else. But like,
yeah, she gets back like 10 minutes earlier than everyone because they took the flight and she drove across the country. Yeah.
To be fair, we got back more than 24 hours earlier than we would have. And I think that it was a pretty key 24 hours. Yeah. So we got back. I was like, what are you going to, like, I was so worried at that point. Like, it was really sounding like she might not make it through the weekend.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we got back. We went, they had her like stay at so she went to the vet on Friday and then she got picked up by our neighbor. And then on Saturday morning, she got taken back to the vet, like first thing, by our cat sitter, stayed there the whole day, like was on fluids, IV, had steroids. So she,
the star of our story is in the house now.
yes, she is. So she went back to the vet on Saturday and she was there all day. And we got back in the afternoon. We went and like visited her before we came to like pick her up when they closed. And I mean, seriously, like when we visited her, she was, I mean, just first of all, like a bag of bones, so weak, like wasn't really moving around much. It was just so, and I still like at that point, I still like, I didn't really, it wasn't looking good. But then she came home with us that night and had a pretty good night. She started eating again. So we got really stoked about that. And then they gave us like, since the vet was closed on Sundays, they like showed us how to put fluids in her, like under her skin. this like needle.
Does she have a little port or?
She had a catheter.
Okay.
And so we were also doing antibiotics via the catheter. She got the catheter out yesterday though. And now since she's eating again, we're doing the antibiotics orally.
Okay.
And then we keep doing the fluids. And then they gave us also like an appetite stimulant.
Yep.
That she's
did you get
but she started eating again before we gave her that. So
gotcha.
So that's good.
The ear appetite stimulant or the oral one?
It's on her ear.
Okay. That's the first one that we had that didn't work.
And then it didn't work again. Well, yeah, I guess that's why I'm like still very cautiously optimistic, because now it's Tuesday. So she had a pretty good day on, I would say it's been 3 days now that she's been like fully home and seems to be getting stronger every day. And doing better, a little bit better every day. We made the living room is downstairs, and usually like her food and litter box are downstairs, but we put one upstairs also.
Nice.
Because we sleep upstairs. So it was like, if she wants to, I think she usually sleeps with us, and she's like very, very social. Like she needs her humans. Mm-hmm. And so there's also like water kind of everywhere, which reminded me of your water glasses, Colleen. And
we've also weird. Leave water out. It's so weird. Like I still move it the same place. I went yesterday. I dropped an ice cube on the floor, and I went to put it in the water bowl, and I was like, "Oh, there's no more water bowl."
Oh,
yeah. It's some things are just habits. I've been throwing ice from the floor for 15 years into that water bowl.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, so we'll see. There's like food everywhere. She keeps eating like a ton, which is great. So I hope she'll gain back some weight, and I think she's gaining some strength. But we made like little steps up to our bed, because every time like there's a couple times that she's like jumped, and I'm like, don't jump, girl. But she seems to be getting a little bit stronger. So the vet had a look at her liver like with a ultrasound, and she said that there's like multiple growths or something. There's things there, and so she thinks that she probably has some sort of chronic condition on her liver that has been there for months.
Hence the jaundice.
That just didn't really like sort of declare itself until now. And actually, I was looking back at like all of her past visits, and I noticed that in May, when she went for actually an anti-nausea thing, because she was puking a lot, which the vet now in retrospect thinks is linked to the liver stuff. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Because you were saying that you did the same anti-nausea that Zoe had that you guys did.
Yeah, and it's hard because Fiona's always.
If you want, I'll mail it to you. What's a little exchange of drugs amongst cats?
Amongst cats, yeah. Well, and Fiona's always been a puker her whole life. So like a little bit of puke, like it was just annoying because it was getting a little bit more, but we didn't necessarily think of it as being like something weird or out of the ordinary. But when I looked in May, she weighed like a little over 9 pounds. And when you go back, any of her paperwork prior to that, it's always 10.5. Like she was always 10.5. So in May, she had already lost like almost 1.5 pounds.
That's so funny with Zoe when we took her to the vet, because we remember she peed she got banished to the garage, and then she got mad at Jay for putting her in the garage, so she pulled his towel down and peed on it on purpose.
I vaguely remember the peeing on purpose part of the story.
I did that geocache in West Virginia with my parents, and that night before she had peed on shorts or in the laundry basket or something, which she only does if she has a UTI. But Jay was really mad, so he locked her in the garage overnight. And then when she got let out, she sought out his towel, jumped up, clawed it, brought it down, and peed on it because she was so mad at him.
That's kind of hilarious.
It is fucking hilarious.
Amazing. She was a one-of-a-kind girl.
She truly was. But when I took her in April for that, and they said they saw mild inflammation, so something must have been starting. They had also mentioned that she had lost weight from her previous yearly visit, but it had been slight, so it wasn't something that was very.
It wasn't alarming.
worrisome. Yeah.
Well, and we were thinking about it too, because like at first when I noticed that the other day, we were like, why didn't we, or even the vet, like, why did nobody sort of like say anything? But then I was thinking about it, and at that same time, we were doing this food trial for Gabby because of Gabby's like skin allergies, and of course, like you can't really do different food for two cats, like it's, you know, so they were both on the food trial, whether they needed to be or not, and neither of them really liked the new food, so we thought that it was just, you know, she's not really liking the food. Eventually we switched back and she went back to eating it voraciously so we thought, oh, she just didn't like the food. So she lost a little weight. She didn't like the food. That sucks. We'll keep giving her the other food. And then all of a sudden it was like she went from 9 pounds to 6 pounds.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. 6 pounds is skin and bones, and it's terrifying.
It's skin and bones. It's so just so small.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. She was like breakable. I feel like she's probably gained a little bit of weight since then. And she
looked better in the picture you showed us, just from like 24 hours of not eating to eating.
Yeah. So. Yeah. 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 And she's like moving around better. She's still like old and frail, and you can see it in the way that she moves, but she's doing a little bit better. I mean, obviously none of this is going to cure like the chronic, whatever's going on with, you know, if she has like liver cancer or whatever, but at least they're saying the steroids could bring down the inflammation, which could at least allow her to stay comfortable and keep eating. And then I don't know like what the prognosis would be from there, like how long she would have, but at least, I mean, literally I thought that like we would have probably had to put her down by now. So anytime is good time.
Yeah. And the fact that her quality of life has since improved, that she's now feeling better. And
oh, totally. Because I'm not going to like drag it out if she's suffering, but she doesn't seem to be suffering. She's eating, she's drinking, she's purring.
That's a good sign.
Is she grooming herself? Because Dr. Katie told me that if they're grooming themselves, they're not preparing to die. So,
oh, that was actually part of why we took out the catheter. Because for one thing, she was eating, so they're like, okay, so we can switch and do like the oral antibiotics. But the other thing was she kept licking her arm where the bandages were over the catheter, just like almost as if it wasn't there, but like to groom herself. Right? Yeah. It doesn't work very well with. Wait. So yeah, she has a few times I've noticed her sit down and really go at it, cleaning all parts of her body.
Hey, that's a good sign. Hey, because you've never been so happy to see, you know, your cat lick her own butt. Huh?
Well, good. I'm glad. And obviously, you know, I hope that she is in it for the long haul, as long as that may be. So,
me too.
Yeah, thank you. Me too. I just, you know, it was such like it put a damper on the end of the trip, but I'm so happy that we came back when we did, because I mean, like another day could have done it.
Yeah. I understand. We went to Washington, D.C. after Zoe started her medication. She was doing a little bit better, and we decided to board her because we thought that she was finally eating, and if we left, she wouldn't have. And she had to take her medication several times a day, and we didn't have anybody to give it to her, so we thought it would be better to have her at the vet to make sure she ate, but more importantly, give her medications. And she came back that Monday morning, and she wasn't the same cat that we had left on Saturday. And I don't know, maybe we did it to her by leaving her there, but like, it's really great that you guys came home, because sometimes I wish that we hadn't done that, like, and we just skipped our whole trip, but like, because who knows?
But you can't know. But I mean,
you have a way of knowing.
You don't, and I do think after talking to some people who sent me some really nice messages, like Ethan, and like it sounds like what happened with Zoe is something that is fairly common. Like, she just declined, and like, we were at the vet that morning, and they sent us home with stuff, and I left to go running, and she was eating finally for the first time in days, and drinking, and I thought that like I could go because I thought that we were fine. And Jay was upstairs with her, and he had to take a meeting, and he took the meeting from upstairs so he could keep an eye on her. And while he was in that meeting, just, you know, she tried to jump on the couch, she fell, she collapsed, and that was it. And he calls me freaking out. I have never run 2 miles that fast in my life as when I sprinted back when he was like, no, she's dying. You need to come home like right now. And I was like, I'm 35 minutes away and I'm 2 miles from my car. And he was like, no, she's dying. And then I sprinted at like full speed and he calls me and I'm about a half mile from the car and he's FaceTiming. He was like, I think you need to say goodbye. I was like, over FaceTime? He was like, it's real bad. And then I drove home and it was 30 minutes to get where I was, 35 minutes to get where I was, and I made it home in like 27 minutes. I was doing like 100 miles an hour on Route 85. I was just freaking out. And then thankfully, you know, I got home really quick and I got there and I was like, yeah, you're right. And we called my friend Katie, who's a vet, and she was like, I was like, I think Zoe's passing. Like, is there anybody that comes to the house? We're afraid to move her. We think she's like broken. And she was like, no, she's scared. She's going to be cold. She's going to be scared. Like, you need to wrap her in a blanket. You need to get her to the vet. So, you know, we called the vet. The vet was like, come in right now. Like, we'll meet you in the parking lot. And they were great. And then my friend, Dr. Katie, came to the vet too, so she could listen to, like, you know, the assessment.
And it was actually a great really friend. That's a really great friend.
And she lives in Cary, and not like the close Cary, like, you know, like so like the 30-minute Cary.
It's a really good friend.
Yeah. So like she was super sweet to come out there. She had also made a house call to us, like, you know, the week before all this happened too. To check on Zoe, which is when she made the grooming comment. She was like, she's grooming herself. She's fine. And I was like, well, she's not fine. She's like, no, she's not fine. But, like, you know, I think there's a chance. But anyway, yeah. And then after she heard the assessment, like, she was and saw Zoe herself because they brought her out to us. She had a heating pad, and the heating pad kind of like woke her up a little bit. And she was just like, give her the chance. If she doesn't make it better, then I'm going to give you permission to let her go. And, you know, we left her there with them. We got the boys. We called the hospital, you know, an hour later, like they told us to. And they were like, it's not going to get better. And we were like, okay. So we brought them. They got to say goodbye. You guys saw the live video. It was very sad. My parents, thankfully, randomly, the way the universe works out, were in town. So they waited in the car. Jay brought them out. The last time Zoe raised her head was when the boys came in. She used the last bit of her energy. The second that door closed and they were all gone, she laid her head down. She closed her eyes. She didn't die. She ended up having to be euthanized, but, like, she closed her eyes like she was in, like, very peaceful that she had seen her family, and that was it. Like, you know, then we petted her. She kind of fluttered a little bit at us, but that was it. Like, it was really sweet. Like, she used the last bit of what she had to say goodbye to her brothers and us. So, and then, yeah. But Zach is so funny. Like, when you look at little kids, he keeps going, Zoe passed. And I'm like, you could say she died.
He's an old soul, that Zachary Lewis. He's an old soul.
I was like, you could say you could say she died. It's not crude. He's like, no, she passed. She passed away. And I was like, okay, that's very sweet.
Oh, but, sometimes it's easier too. It's like the words we use.
I think so too. I felt
the
like
ones that bring us comfort.
Yes, and I think it does. I thought that using the word "died" like would have helped understand more, but I think he maybe just got it. I think Alex needed to hear that because you know, Alex. The following week, Zachary went to Jack and Cindy's for his last week of track out, and he went on a Sunday, and I think it was that Tuesday, Alex woke up. So it was like 6 days after Zoe died, and he was like, is Zoe at Papa and Gigi's with Zachary? I was like, no, Alex. Zoe's not coming back. So, yeah. Oh. Zoe and Alex, they had a relationship. Alex came out a little stronger in that relationship.
This kind of reminds me of Fiona and Gabby's relationship. But, honestly, it's kind of the same.
There will be, and again, I have a blog post with all of this, more detail like in it, so I don't have to, like, you know, take up too much time here. But one of the sweetest things that Alex did do was because the morning before. Oh goodness! It wasn't the morning that Zoe died. It might have been the Saturday before we dropped her off to board her. Alex has been super into Doc McStuffins, which I think is because Alex is a stuffed animals kid, and the stuffed animals come to life. And he's been like reenacting like a lot of that. And she has this, parents out there may know, she has this song where she's like, you'll feel better, so much better now. And before we took her to the vet, he sat down and laid down with her and hugged her and sang that song to her. And it was sweet. It was just so sweet. And I was like, oh man, this is going to really break his heart whatever's coming next. So, yeah.
Oh, man.
Good time. Anyway, you know what? Usually we do our next segment and then take our break, but let's take our break now and then we'll come back and do happy things. How about that?
Sounds like a great plan.
Okay, great. All right, we are back, and I don't know. Are we ready to get into some facey back? We got some other things. I meant to mention at the start of the show, but our last episode was our bloopers episode.
It was great.
It was great.
Did you guys listen?
Always a delight to listen to.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you listened. But I do need to note, and Matt had noted it. I knew he was going to notice, and I had noticed it first, clearly.
So there.
But it was episode 66, and it came out on August 6th. So it was like our 666 episode.
Cool.
You're welcome. But anyway, yeah. So check those out as well if you haven't yet. If you're listening, I hope that you have. Okay. I had a couple things. Originally, my idea was to revisit our what's generally considered sexy but a turnoff for you. But honestly, I could not for the life of me remember where we left off and where we didn't. So
that's a super valid point.
The other thing was college roommate horror stories, which I don't think we've done.
No.
Just in time for back to school?
Yeah, just in time for back to school. Because I was just going to default to a quiz. And truly, other than a Schitt's Creek quiz, which, excludes people who listen to this show who haven't watched it, there was nothing really good. So it must be in a summer slump. Sorry, BuzzFeed, but you just let me down today. So we could do college roommate, or we could just, I don't know, not do anything. It's up to you guys. College roommate it is. Okay.
Let's do the college roommates. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. All right, the first one is, these are all from BuzzFeed. This was actually coincidentally from BuzzFeed. I had found it a month ago when I was looking for stuff to do 2 weeks ago. So, I caught my roommate having sex with her boyfriend on my bed the day that I came home from my grandmother's memorial service.
Ooh.
She didn't look me in the eye for the rest of the year.
Well, you think?
Yeah.
Next one, my roommate piled miscellaneous items on my face while I was sleeping, and when I unburied myself and sat up, I noticed she was peeing on my bed. Completely confused and in shock, I quickly climbed off the bed and said, "Do you need me to take you to the bathroom?" And she replied, "No, I don't need you to because there's one right here." She pointed to my bed. That chick was drunk. That's editor's note. Clearly drunk. Next up. I woke up to my roommate practicing her tap dancing completely topless with just underwear on her bottom half. She was 2 feet from my bed.
She's just more aerodynamic that way.
And she
can
said,
hear the sounds.
She said, "I didn't think it would wake you up." Also, I have to say that the very first story and this third one, the first one was written in by a woman named Colleen, and this one was by an Amanda. So we'll have to stay tuned to see if there is a Shandy.
I doubt it.
Number 4, I started spending the night in my boyfriend's room a few times a week. One time, I came back to my room to find a piece of paper on my bed. In crayon, my roommate wrote, "I miss the sound of you breathing." She moved out shortly afterward.
And just the fact that it was in crayon. It just makes it creepier.
That is like, if you're listening to this and you're about to go to college, the crayon does make it creepier.
Yeah. Don't
Actually,
do that.
it doesn't matter what age you are.
I mean, you shouldn't do it at all with like any writing instrument. But the crayon is just, nope. You have a hard time saying that you're a sane person when you're writing notes in crayon.
That reminds me of the Alanis Morissette song, the secret song.
The time I wrote my roommate a note in a crayon.
No, but
that old ditty.
It's the secret song at the end of Jagged Little Pill, and I think of this because I'm actually going to go see Alanis Morissette on Sunday, and I'm very excited.
Oh my God!
She's going to be playing with Garbage and Cat Power.
What?
Wow,
I know. I'm so excited.
Where's this concert happening?
Sunday. But she's touring. It's a tour from
where? I said where.
Oh,
I heard you when you said Sunday.
In Cary. So, in the town next to me. But it was rescheduled from last year. So, I'm super excited.
Wow.
Yeah, very, very stoked.
Nice.
I bought lawn seats for me and Jay to go, and then Jay told me the other day that he didn't want to go anymore. So Sarah's going with me. Arden.
Nice.
Burns.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
Yeah. I'm so excited. I was like, yay, mom date. I haven't seen friends in so long, and now I'm seeing friends tonight. I'm seeing a friend on Sunday. It's so great. I'm so excited. Yay, friends.
Oh, that's really good. I'm so happy for you.
I'm so excited because Alanis is like my favorite.
Nice.
But it reminds me of that secret song she has where she's like, and I wrote a note, and I said, hello, love, I miss you so, love, meet me at midnight, I know it wasn't my... Anyway, whatever. So, creepy stalker thing. Next one. Somebody out there knows that song, and they're agreeing with me. One night, I was called by the police because one of my roommates poured piping hot mashed potatoes on the other roommate's laptop. It was ruined, and the girl charged her for it. I moved out.
I mean... bonus points for the creativity.
It's so creative.
When you said piping hot, that's not... potatoes is not what I was expecting that to be followed by. So, yeah.
You know?
Even like the water that you would boil the potatoes in.
Piping hot potato water?
Yeah. That's one way to really stick it to somebody. With starchy hot water.
You got a hot ham soup? No, you got a...
hot potato soup?
Hot ham water.
Hot ham water, thank you.
That would be hot potato water.
One's the appetizer for the other.
Possible episode title, hot potato water. All right, next up, I walked in one night to find my roommate going through all of my stuff, breaking things, all because she thought I stole her bath towel.
Yeah. I feel like there's more to that story than the
right?
narrator is letting on.
Yeah. Replace bath towel with a
vibrator. No. You're welcome.
No one's not attached to your bath towel.
I don't know. Unless she used it for vibrator cleanup. Still weird.
Still weird.
All right, next up, my roommate boiled her Diva cup and burned it pretty badly in my favorite pan, which belonged to my dead grandma.
Oh,
that just sucks.
That is a bummer, because that burnt stuff, I mean, I know there's people that take pride, mainly Italian people. Amanda might know. They take pride in taking that Brillo and getting that burnt out of something, but I don't have my family... You give them a burnt pot, they're like, give me a Brillo. I will take care of this in a half an hour. And I'm like, that is a half an hour of your life that you won't get back, but go for it.
Yes, but you've saved a pot.
Exactly.
So one less pot that you got to buy. I don't, like, my intention is not to victim blame, but I do feel like if you have important pieces of crockery, maybe you shouldn't put them in the general use pile.
Yeah.
But to be fair, was anybody anticipating a Diva cup burning?
Well, no, that is fair. But
I feel like on the list of like, if you were going to insure that pot, it wouldn't be like protection from Diva cups.
No, but it could be broken in many other ways. You never know. Just saying. That's our motto. There's nothing in my kitchen that I would be terribly upset if you broke, because we just don't invest in anything too particularly, meaningful or special. And a couple of things that do mean something to me, I don't let other people use.
Right. It's like when you have roommates, don't have that stuff out if you have roommates.
All right. Next up. Gross. My roommate would rather climb over piles of trash in the kitchen than take them out. When I noted there were ants in their rooms, they shrugged and said, they'll go away when they get bored.
That's not good.
That's not how that works.
Nope.
Not how that works. Nope.
My roommates had a house party, and I came in the next morning to find a bucket of vomit under the kitchen table. I thought they had cleaned it up, but 6 months later when we were moving out, guess what I found on the balcony? The bucket of vomit.
At least it was easily disposable, which begs the question of why didn't they just throw away the fucking bucket like 6 months prior?
No, then it just becomes a passive-aggressive thing.
Super gross.
No.
One of the women in my dorm was storing her used sanitary napkins in the closet instead of throwing them away. Her closet is emitting the most god-awful smell.
Why?
Oh, man.
Maybe she should have burnt them in the Diva Cup bowl. I mean, blood has a smell, no matter where it comes from. Mm-hmm. Right? Blood has a distinct smell.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
Mm-hmm.
Yikes. I reported my roommate for smoking in the room, and to get back at me, she hid her. I guess we're in the period section, guys. So let me start again.
Let's do it.
All right.
I reported my roommate for smoking in the room, and to get back at me, she hid her used menstrual products under my bed. Gross.
Wow. That would never occur to me. Like, no matter how mad I was at someone.
No.
All right, Shandy. Here's your opposite of your victim blaming pots and pans. My roommate took out all the pots and pans and put them in her room, then wrote me a letter about how I was lazy and didn't deserve to use them. They were my pots and pans.
Ooh. Oh, well, that's not great.
Okay, final one. My dad's roommate's story is my favorite. On the second day of school, his roommate's girlfriend was over. They were on the top bunk and started having sex. Apparently their thing was that she'd pee on him, all while my dad was trying to sleep on the bottom bunk. It was so bad that my dad called my grandfather in tears.
Oh my God.
It's really gross.
That's really gross.
So, okay, I didn't go to like normal college, so like we didn't have dorms, so I didn't experience that. And I have wondered, do people really have sex when they have a roommate, like in a very close proximity, small room?
Yep.
Like, does that actually seriously?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So like the bunk bed sex they depict on How I Met Your Mother, and I've always sort of thought that was just for the laughs.
I don't know, but I never had a bunk bed in college. I don't think, but
no, I didn't. Yeah,
no,
I didn't do bunk beds.
Sex in the same
just side by side beds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you're at the same level.
You're at the same level.
Look at each other.
Yeah, no, that's a thing. I've definitely had roommates have a particular roommate have sex when I was in the room there, and they thought I was sleeping.
Okay, yay college.
I think actually when Colleen and I became very close friends, I think was the time I woke up one morning freshman year, and there were two people in my roommate's bed, and so I got up, and Colleen's room was 2 doors down. Mm-hmm. So I went into her room, and her roommate had friends over, and I climbed over them because they were sleeping on the floor, and I got into bed with Colleen. I was like, Colleen, move over.
There's a boy in my room.
And then your roommate's boyfriend came to get her for breakfast, and he opens the door, and there's just women everywhere.
I know.
A gaggle of girls.
And he's just let Caitlin know I went to breakfast.
Yeah.
Okay?
She lives in Raleigh now.
Oh, that's nice.
I've never run into her, but I'm waiting for the day.
Someday.
Yeah. Ugh. All right. Crazy roommates. If you have a crazy roommate story, let us know. If you have a college roommate from hell story, a college roommate horror story, there we go. If you have
give holler, give it out, for all's well that ends well. That was a song from my 8th grade musical.
Ooh,
nice.
Shakespeare comes to Calamity Creek. Because I started singing, and then I was like, "This isn't a real musical. No one's gonna know that song. What are you doing? Stop! Bail out of this joke."
Oh my god. Okay. Well, on that note, if you have a college roommate horror story and you would like to share it, we would love to hear it. I know there are people out there that definitely love to talk about these kinds of things. So let us know. I had this redhead girl that was my college roommate for a few years and she was awful. No, I'm just kidding.
I was going to say, I feel like I had the most wonderful college roommate and I love her dearly. And I just saw her at my friend reunion in Missoula. So nice. I think all of us have had very fortunate college roommate experiences. Yeah. But bring on the horror.
Bring on the horror, please. Bring it on. Bring it on. Bring it on. All right. Well, let's get into some facey back. We don't have a whole lot, so we should be able to land this ship rather quickly. Ro wanted Hawaii details, which you gave.
No.
What was your favorite part about Hawaii?
I mean, it's hard to say just like one thing. I loved like the food, and I loved the ocean.
When I was in Hawaii, there was a lot of Japanese food. Was that the same still?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and the first day there, we went to Hawaii's plantation village, and I learned all about like the immigration and why there's a lot of Japanese food. But yeah, no, all the all the food was great. I just think like island life, I could really, I could totally like get down with that. And also my skin was amazing. When people in Survivor get island hot, like I get it.
I want to be island hot one day.
Yeah.
Oh, I will say also, like, one of the things that I think was just so, I don't know, maybe I knew like in my head, but had never really seen before, just like the difference in vegetation because it's so different than like
climates,
mainland US or like Europe where I've been before. Yeah. The trees were amazing. And like, there was like so many, I didn't realize that there were just like wild chickens just like running around.
Oh,
cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know on Oahu there were wild chickens.
Yeah. We saw tons of wild chickens and we were like, so like the tourists taking pictures of chickens.
Oh, pictures. You have a picture in front of that big tree. Is that by like Lahaina Village or something?
No, it's on the University of Hawaii Manoa campus. It's a baobab, which any student of French should know from probably reading The Little Prince. Let's be real. That's really where I encountered baobabs for the first time. But it's a tree. It's an African tree.
Okay.
And so it was wild to see it, to be like, oh, this is an actual baobab. And I don't know the story of how it got to Hawaii because it's definitely not a Hawaiian tree from what I know, at least. But yeah, very cool.
Nice. Is that the one where the roots grow down, like from the top of the tree into the ground?
No, but there were other trees like that.
Yeah, those were super cool.
Baobabs they're just huge. They're like very wide and I mean, like sequoias are also very huge, but I don't know. Baobabs have this like bulk to them. That's just, I mean, maybe I really think that baobabs are only like an African tree, but who knows? Like maybe I'm totally wrong and they're also endemic to the tropics. I don't know. We'll do a quick fact check before this episode comes out and then feel really stupid when I'm wrong.
Will we though? Because I probably won't.
I'll Google it.
I've never even heard of this tree, so.
But yeah, no, so the vegetation was really cool overall. And yeah, just everything. I just like, I like the lifestyle from, the little that I experienced it. And I could totally just, I think, live there. That's kind of, there were like a number of us who were there for the training were like, so how do you just like stay here? Like if anyone listening has any like professional hookups in Hawaii, let me know because I think Frank and I would both move in a second.
Mm-hmm. I do love Hawaii.
Me too. I'd love to go back. Did you get to the palace?
No, I mean, there's like, I really feel like we scratched the surface because since I was in training, basically like, for full days and the sun sets incredibly early there, which was a surprise. But also I was just like, when you're like actually having to like use your brain to like learn new stuff like that, it's not, you can't, there's no autopilot. It's not doing a job you already know how to do. Like I was actually like learning stuff and needing to pay attention. And so I was,
I know the feeling.
Right, exactly. So you're tired in the evening. So we do stuff in the evenings, but it was limited by, the fact that I needed to go to bed early to get up the next day for training. And then also limited by the sunset and things closing and whatnot. So there's a lot of things that we didn't do. And we would have done them in our last days there, but, No, definitely no regrets there. That's fine. Well, Hawaii will still be there.
Yeah.
I mean, unless climate change,
Right. I mean, some of the smaller islands won't be there, but.
Right. All right. Happier things. Okay. Real quick, Matt had a film recommendation, Shiva Baby, written and directed by Emma Siegelman, about a college student who runs into her ex-girlfriend and her sugar daddy at a Jewish funeral service. It's a cringe comedy filmed like a horror film, with Siegelman really making you feel that claustrophobia you have at these events, and you can't complain about a 77-minute runtime. You cannot complain about a 77-minute runtime. That is true. I guess now would be the time to mention the things that I talk about in my blog, the stuff that we watched this weekend, this last month. So Girls 5 Eva, I finished it, and not only was I super fucking wrong the first time I talked about it on this show, I rewatched the whole series with Jay. I listened to the soundtrack a lot, and even though it's super not appropriate, Alex knows all the lyrics to the 4 Stars song. Yeah, I loved it. Especially the second time around, I caught so many more like things. I'm really excited for season 2, and I hope it gets it. We also watched We Are Lady Parts in one night, literally one night.
Isn't it great?
It was very good. Yeah, it was really good.
Yes.
We also watched, and Amanda, if you need a pitch to get Peacock, here it is. Schmigadoon. Okay. It's fucking amazing.
Is that the musical thing?
It's the musical thing.
I thought it was on Hulu. It's on Peacock?
It's on Peacock. I'm pretty sure it's on Peacock. It's a Lorne Michaels produced thing with Cecily Strong and
Keegan-Michael Key.
Mm-hmm. Who is so freaking hot as well. But like the whole thing is hilarious. It's really great. I thought it was going to be cheesy, and I was kind of hesitant to watch it. I don't want to give spoilers, but it's it's a really great show. So if anybody out there likes musicals, there's this one scene that's broadcast, I guess, appropriate. Spoiler. There's this one scene in the second to last episode where there's a group, there's 2 characters that are having a baby, and they don't know where babies came from or how they got pregnant, because it's like a teenage pregnancy like thing. And Cecily Strong does a Doe a Deer rendition, but it's like fallopian tubes, sperm, fertilization. It's so funny. It's the whole show is just a lot of it. I mean, if you are a longtime musical fan, you will see the inspiration behind everything. Like the Schmigadoon. So Schmigadoon is based off of Brigadoon, but like the theme song sounds very much like Oklahoma. There's like a scallywag in it that's very much like Carousel. There's a lot of homages paid to musicals that are like royalty. Like classic even though musicals. Like I don't like a lot of those musicals, like The King and I fucking hate The King and I.
Yeah, The King and I.
I hate The King and I. South Pacific.
Almost as stupid as Oklahoma.
Yeah. South Pacific. I don't like South Pacific. But anyway, there's a lot of like homages paid to all those musicals that kind of like paved the way or whatever. Blah, 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 blah. Alan Cumming is in it. Kristen Chenoweth is in it. And they are amazing. Yeah, it's totally worth it. So if you have, I'm pretty sure it's on Peacock. If you have it, totally check it out. I can't speak highly enough of it. It's so good. That's all she wrote. Okay. Next up, we have a voicemail. Oh, That's What She Said. I'm sorry. Next up, we've got the That's What She Said.
Everyone can fit on one page.
I never regret it in the end.
That helped me get through the first half.
There's a whole bunch, so I got to figure out what to do with them.
We knew he was going to do it, and he made us all pick one.
I may need to bring him back in.
I thought you were in there.
I didn't use it today. I didn't want to use it until you ladies had yours.
Oh, I thought you were in there. I'm sorry.
We can do that again.
I guess you have to clean them out.
I put it up there for 2 seconds and my head is hurting.
I finished the lady parts.
Me too.
You can do it. You put your leg here.
Thank you, Matt. As always, that was great. Next up, we have we have 2 voicemails from Maggie. Let's hope that I'm playing them in the right order, and you guys can hear them. All right, here we go.
Hey, Amanda, Shandy, and Colleen. I am so glad you're recording tonight. I've missed you, ladies, so much. I hope you had a nice summer. I feel like summer's over because I'm back at work, so I feel like summer's over. So summer's done. So I hope you had a good summer. Shandy, can't wait to hear about your vacation and to hear all about the things Miss Eden has been up to and all the fun things Colleen has been up to since I saw her in July. So the 2 things I wanted to tell you was the Northern Virginia area is not fully done with the cicadas, or weren't. We are, I think, now. So we kind of got the revenge of the cicadas a little bit. There were oak leaf mites that were coming out and biting everybody because they were feasting on the cicada eggs. So there's all these cicada eggs, so we have all these oak leaf mites that bit you, and they hurt like nothing I have ever felt before. I had about 20 or so bites last week. They were the worst. I tried anti-itch cream, that didn't work. I did try some Benadryl, and that seemed to help. But it was literally so bad. I had a few on my back that I could not sleep because they kind of itched so bad. And the oak mites, what everybody was calling them was oak mites, they are microscopic, so you could get random ones because the oak mites could go through your clothes. It was kind of ridiculous for about a week or so, but luckily they seem to. I think we've gotten a lot of rain, and that has washed them all away. And I've been meaning to call in and tell Andy. Andy mentioned a book a while ago, How Not to Die Alone, that he had heard about, and I got it because I have a book buying problem, and read it, and found it very interesting. Been trying to use some things from the book since I read it, so wanted to tell Andy that. So thanks for that recommendation. I don't know if you ladies have watched Ted Lasso or mentioned Ted Lasso. If you have Apple, maybe you did. Everybody needs to watch Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso is my new favorite show. It's amazing. And the characters are just the best. And it does not shy away from issues either.
While we're loading the next one, I just want to say, she's not wrong. Ted Lasso. Season 1 is crippling.
I just need to figure out how to watch it.
Yeah, I think we're going to get back into it.
It's so good. And then season 2 starts out with something horrible, like super horrible. But the tension of Zoe dying right before we watched it, I laughed so hard that I truly couldn't stop laughing. And when I say I couldn't stop laughing, I mean I tried to talk about it and still laugh through it, laugh for the whole time. I haven't laughed that hard in such a long time. And it's awful, but it's hilarious, but it's awful.
You needed it, yeah.
I needed it. Okay. Anyway, all right. Back to the last 13 seconds of Maggie's voicemail.
I always know I got too rambling when I get cut off. Okay, so Maggie calling back just really to say that and to say bye-bye!
Bye-bye!
Awesome.
Yeah. All right, well, we'll finish this up with an Andy update, and then I've got to tell my story, and then we'll go.
Yeah. We've been building up this story for like an hour and a half now. We got to hear it.
I know. It's not going to live up to it, but we're going to try. Okay.
All right. Well, Andy writes in this month. and a half with Andy's difficult coworker. Hey, broads. It has been a while, and unfortunately there aren't any big updates in my life, but I do have some news about my new coworker who last time I wrote seemed to be getting better. I spoke a little too soon. Here are some highlights. After giving him an assignment, I was under the impression that he did it incorrectly, and in my frustration at him at the moment, I lost my cool and snapped at him. After double-checking and seeing he did do the work correctly, I apologized. I felt genuinely bad, but in retrospect, I should have snapped at several moments in the last couple of weeks instead. Since then, he has proven to be unreliable and slow to complete assignments. I gave him an assignment that should take 30 minutes to complete tops. This was also supposed to be done by Tuesday, and it was Thursday. After 6 hours, which includes the hour the day before, I had to finish it. The crazy thing was he was about 95% done and just stopped, leaving the project unfinished for hours. It only took me about 10 minutes to wrap it up. This is a regular thing with him. When he gets an assignment, he doesn't seem to understand it all. It needs to be done completely and promptly. I'll give him one thing to do that should be a morning assignment, and he will literally take the entire day to do it and sometimes not even complete it. His attendance remains spotty, including another absence without so much as a call. This somehow doesn't lead to him getting fired. However, he is given some opportunity to make up the hours since he most certainly doesn't have PTO. This happened in part because he called asking about staying late one day at 4:59. A few minutes later, he caught me on the way out asking where a coworker was who could give him some work, a coworker who almost certainly left at 5. The next day, he finds out I have to go in on Saturday, it's Friday, for a special assignment. At first, he tries half-heartedly to convince me to stay 2 hours late on Friday so he can make up the hours, which took everything in me not to give him a Roy Kent and Ted Lasso. Speaking of Ted Lasso,
so many Ted
fuck
Lasso
no.
references.
To that proposition. However, I agree to let him come in at the same time Saturday morning. Saturday morning rolls around and I go in. This counts as overtime, and I do my best to keep the overtime short. As you can expect, I don't have a lot of faith in him showing up, and I don't wait for him. When it comes to these special circumstances, early is on time and on time is late, and he was neither, so I go about my assignment. I have to add this assignment involves me leaving the building for about 30 minutes to pick up some deliveries. I come back and work on the assignment. I've been there for about 40 minutes and I finally noticed the guy left an email about half an hour earlier. He had apparently left his work badge at home and was stuck outside at the same time I was across town. And so, I have no access to my work email outside of the building. It being a weekend, the people in the building was an even smaller number than the still reduced on-site workforce. He left before I came back, and all I could do was shrug. This guy can't help himself. Since then, I'm keeping my distance from him as he spends more time goofing off on news sites than doing what he's supposed to be doing. Thankfully, I'm taking some time off, so maybe my boss will see how much of a problem he is without me doing most of the work. I guess we'll find out soon. Well, this is probably the latest update I've ever given, so I'll leave it at that. Totally understand if this gets bumped to next week. Glad to hear you're back, and I'm looking forward to hearing what you've been up to. # 5 years with hers and fewer years with that guy, Andy.
I understand that that's very frustrating, Andy. I just hang in there.
Yeah, no, it sounds like, I think we definitely gave the benefit of the doubt for a very long time, and now it's kind of sounding like he doesn't deserve that benefit of the doubt anymore. That sucks.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I hope it gets better. The
vacation though is a good point. When you're gone, you'll see what happens, and maybe your boss will be like, "Oh, actually, this isn't working."
Yep. But thank you, Andy, for the update. Thank you, Maggie, for the voicemail. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you to the patrons. We are going to be live for the patrons next week for the Hangout level patrons. So stay tuned for a link to that. Thank you to the patrons, especially the ones that contribute at a certain level, and that we Tack from Tokyo, Eckhart Rickner, Maggie the Magnificent, Joanne with a Plan, and Ed the Creepy Mailman. Thank you guys so much. If you'd like to become a patron, you can go to patreon.com/JanJack. We would love to have you. Okay, so here is the story that I wanted to tell you guys earlier. So here's the story. So we went to Washington, D.C., where we saw Maggie the next day. We dropped Zoe off at the vet, and then we kept going. There was so much traffic. I don't even know what caused the traffic, but like to get where we had to go, it should have been about 4.5 hours, and it was 6 hours. And we're sitting on 95 in traffic, and Alex is like, I have to pee. And I'm like, yeah.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. You know where this is going. And I was like, okay, well, can you hold it? Like, and he was like, okay. And then, you know, another like half hour goes by, and he's like, I have to pee. And I'm like, well, we are completely dead stuck in traffic. Jay is like, give him a water bottle. So Zachary had a water bottle that was almost done. So we have Zachary finish his water bottle, which was also a stupid fucking plan, because if you're in traffic, you don't want to like make your kid chug water, but whatever. So we have the empty water bottle, and we're in standstill. Like we're barely creeping. So like I unstrap, I get out, I get Alex out of the car seat, I stand him up, and you know, I try to hold his penis in the bottle. And I'm really bad at this game. And
you don't have that much practice.
I don't have that much practice. Yeah. I thought it would, like, I don't know, get like hard and like shoot the stream of pee in, but it didn't. And I don't know. I don't have a penis. And kind of came out of the water bottle and ended up peeing all over me and himself. And I was like, stop it. I'm trying to adjust it. He stops midstream. We put it back in. It keeps going. It falls out again. Jay is like, how the fuck are you so bad at this? And I was like, I don't know.
You don't have a penis.
I don't have a penis. So anyway, I don't have I have it on me, but I'm in shorts or whatever. So like, it's not super terrible on my shorts. Like, take wipes. I wipe off my legs. I go to the back of the van. I grab from like the trunk part, because thankfully you can access the trunk part from the third level. I get new underwear and shorts for Alex, and we change him, and I wipe myself down, and I'm like, all right, here we go. So we end up we needed gas, so we end up stopping for gas, and I say to Zachary, I was like, hey, Zach, will you grab the water bottle of Alex's pee and dump it in the trash over there? I said, I'm sorry. My exact words were, and dump it over there, pointing at the trash can. And Zachary is somewhat of a space cadet. He opens the door, unscrews the water bottle full of pee, and pours it on the floor right as we're about to step out of the van. Like, where we're going to step out. So I am fucking dying of laughter at this point. Jay is like, what are you doing? Why are you dumping the pee where we're going to have to get out of the car? It's like a puddle of pee. I know, I was dying. I couldn't stop laughing. I was laughing so hard. I was like, oh my God, this is so funny. And Jay was like, there's a garbage right there. You don't understand what dump it out means? And Zach is like, dump it out. So then here's the first part of his story. Is this the car next to us, as Jay finishes like yelling at Zach with like the Italian, like, what are you doing? This lady comes out in flip-flops and steps in the puddle and gets into her car with her pee.
Oh no!
And it was so funny.
Oh no!
We're dying. Jay was dying. We're dying. We're like, oh my God, this lady just stepped in Alex's pee from like an hour ago.
Oh, and she didn't know.
And the funny thing is, she stepped in it right as Jay was finished, like, being like, what is wrong with you? And Zachary, like, finished pouring it out. They're like, I don't understand how she didn't know. Like, the thing to me is, like, you're not aware of your surroundings. Like, if you just paid attention, like, as you were walking to your car, you would have, like, seen this. Oh, it's so bad.
That was not left over from rain. Yeah.
So bad, so funny, so everything. Oh my God, I couldn't stop laughing. We told Maggie the story the next day. I couldn't stop laughing. We told Jay's parents the story when we got back. I couldn't stop laughing. I'm like, and then he just dumped the pee on the floor. Like, I got pee sprayed on me and thought that was going to be the worst of the things that happened that day. But nope. Some lady square on, full on stepped in a puddle of piss and had no idea.
In flip-flops, no less.
In flip-flops. Ooh. That was the part that...
There is precious little barrier between your foot. And
hopefully it was like a thick pair, like a Reeves or something.
Oh my God.
Well, he'll never pour pee out again.
Will he, though? I don't know.
It sounds pretty traumatizing for him.
He was just trying to help out his brother.
He was trying to be helpful. But
he chugged the water.
Yeah, right? He chugged the water for his brother.
Oh, man.
Anyway, yeah. That was, I don't know if that was worth it or not, but, like, to me,
was good.
That
was good.
That's, like, one of the stories that our family's going to tell forever. I'm going to be like, oh my God, Zach, you remember that time you dumped your brother's pee out?
Yep, prom date.
Which the story previously would have been like, hey, Alex, you remember that time that you literally sprayed piss all over me? I would love for anybody that has a similar story to share that. The broadcasters3@gmail.com, 331-276-2373. Thank you for listening. If you're a patron at the $15 or more level, please join us live next week. The patron bonus show will also be out soon-ish, so stay tuned for that if you're on the patron bonus level show. Yeah, I don't know. Check out my blog posts, not to super plug myself or anything. That's where I've extended.
Plug yourself away.
That's where I've extended the stories to make this episode a little bit shorter. I've extended them over there. Call Rights, COLL rights.com. But yeah, does anybody else have anything?
Nope.
All right. Well, welcome back, everybody. I'm so happy to see you, and I can't wait to talk to you next week.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
It is good to be back.
On that note, my name is Colleen.
My name is Amanda.
And I'm Shandy.
Peace out, everybody.
Bye.